Hi, my name is Giacomo Tonini, and I'm a reporter at Forbes. Joining me here today is Jeff Greene, real estate investor and financial investor based in Florida. Jeff, thanks so much for being here. How are you today?
Great to be here.
Thanks. So I wanted to check in with you to get your sort of thoughts on the election. Obviously, you live in Florida, have been investing there for a long time. So first off, just wanted to get your thoughts and sort of your reaction this morning.
Well, I mean, generally, most of my Democratic leanings since growing up in Massachusetts, most of my political leanings since growing up in Massachusetts have been Democratic. The first election I remember was John F. Kennedy when I was a little kid. And basically, the reason is, I mean, I started with it absolutely nothing. I've lived the American dream, and I realized that the government can really play a role in helping people to achieve what I've achieved. And, I've always felt that talent is evenly dispersed among all people all over the world, regardless of their race or their age or their nationality. But what's not evenly distributed is opportunity. And so I've always felt the Democratic Party was a little more focused than the Republican Party on really providing opportunities to people, just, through education and healthcare and housing and the kinds of things to kind of get everyone to the same starting line in life. And so that's why I've kind of supported, but I've been voted for Republicans too, and I certainly understand the ideas behind the Republican platform and the economy, which is, of course, get government out of the way and pro-growth policies. And if you have a growing economy, there will be more opportunities for everybody. So, look, both sides have good ideas, and now Donald Trump's our president, and I'm want to get excited about the opportunity for him to bring the country together and hopefully. Hopefully get into a great period of opportunity for more and more Americans.
Mm-hmm. And I was curious to ask you, you also live in Palm Beach near Mar-a-Lago. I think you used to be a member there as well. How was it around there last night? Did you sort of see any people going in, or what was kind of the mood there?
Well, you don't really see too much because there's a lot of security since the assassination attempts. But I can tell you, when I was driving home yesterday evening, there was quite a bit of traffic because, right now, any car that goes in, they has to be searched. And then they used to just search the trucks. Now they search the engine, under the car with mirrors. So it's a very extensive search of every car. So as a result, if there's a lot of people coming in there, then they kind of line up because they have to wait to get searched. So I get stuck in the line, so I'm just trying to get home. So it's a bit of a problem. Look, at the end of the day, as far as traffic goes, it's very good news for us because, Donald Trump's moving to Washington. So we're only going to see the traffic when he's here for the holidays, which will be mostly during the winter months. And so we're all focused really on what it's going to do for our community and our country and where we're going more than the traffic.
Right. And in terms of Florida, right, obviously those results came out quite early last night. What was your reaction to that? I mean, I think was expected it would go for Trump, but I guess the degree, the size of the victory, maybe not as expected. And I know obviously you were involved a bit in Florida politics in the past. What was your, were you expecting that kind of result? What was sort of your reaction to the Florida vote?
Well, you really can't be surprised because, look, when I first got into politics here in Florida in 2010, there were more Democrats registered than Republicans. Now there's 1 million more Republicans registered than Democrats. So, of course, it's pretty hard to lose as a Republican when you start with a million person advantage in registration. So that's kind of what happened. And, none of us were really surprised. I don't think anyone really thought that Donald Trump was going to lose Florida or that Rick Scott was going to lose or any of these folks were going to lose. And we were a little surprised about the amendments, but the one on abortion and the one on marijuana legalization, I think they were both at 57%. They needed 60%. So the fact is the majority of the people don't like that 6%, that 6-week abortion ban. And the majority of the people would like to have legal marijuana, but not 60%.
In terms of we've spoken a few times with you about, your thoughts on the economy and what might happen. I remember last time we spoke was maybe last year about potential for a recession. I guess now, we're sort of seeing the markets react the way they have today, positively. What are you expecting, I guess, broadly in terms of the economic picture going into next year, and then as far as the Trump administration goes?
my biggest worry about our economy is our deficit. Our national debt, our debt to GDP ratio is over 100% and climbing. We're heading towards 150%. Right now, the interest on our national debt costs more per year than our national defense budget. It's an $800 billion per year cost. So it's a real problem. I mean, financial crises like this don't happen at once. They percolate slowly, and it just creeps up on you. And at one point, it could creep up on us and hurt us. So I think that I was disappointed that neither of the candidates were talking about that issue. And I understand why they wouldn't. If you're running for office, you don't really want to say we're going to increase taxes or you're going to cut programs. But the truth is, I think that we have to do a little of both. And, I really, I think that we don't really need a tax cut from where we are today. I'm sure he's going to extend the cuts that he has, which he'll be able to do now. But I don't think we need any further tax cuts. I think we need to find ways to raise revenue and find ways to cut expenses without hurting people who have legitimate needs in our economy.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think sort of his plans might affect that? I mean, obviously there's been a lot of talk about tariffs, but also a lot of talk about cutting spending. Do you think that balance will land?
Well, look, I mean, Elon Musk said I'm going to cut $2 trillion off the budget. We all know that half of the $6.5 trillion or whatever the budget is entitlement programs. It's defense, interest, and Social Security and Medicare. So there really isn't, if you cut $2 trillion, it's almost like cutting everything else in the budget. So I think it's going to be hard to do. But look, I think what you're going to see, and this is what the markets are, that's why the markets are up, you're going to see which I think a lot of us, you're going to see a lot of this over-regulation we've had go away, which will be easier for people like me who are entrepreneurs, go out and build businesses and start companies. And that's why people are reacting positively to that, because there's no question that's what Donald Trump, the Republican Senate, will do, which is a good thing, get government out of the way of business. I've always been in favor of that. And I think that the risk, again, is I think the national debt. We have to really focus on that because one day we may just all wake up and no one will want to buy the bonds anymore. If that happens and long rates start to really go high, it would really hurt our economy in a very big way.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of real estate, I know we've spoken a lot about how the market is changing. What do you think is sort of the outlook next year? Obviously, with rates expected to still come down a bit more of the sort of issues with supply being resolved a bit. What's sort of your outlook for? Obviously, depends on the class, but wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, the real estate market is a local thing. So basically, the good news for us, and again, I'm one of the bigger property owners here in this community, and a lot of holdings here. There's no question in my mind that having West Palm Beach, on everyone's television screen all over the world, is only going to help our brand and our city. It's a fantastic community anyway. It's a great place to live, amazing quality of life. We have a lot of great things already happening in our community, but I think getting this global attention every time President Trump is in town, and even during this transition period while he's here doing his lining up his cabinet and all his key people, is only going to be great for our market. As far as real estate in general, I mean, we're overbuilt in a lot of categories now, apartments, but office space. Again, look, if we have great economic growth, even if it means, we can dodge the bullet that I think is heading our way from the national debt. But if this growth happens, there'll be more demand for apartments and office space. And look, growing an economy is a wonderful thing. I'm all in favor of growing the economy. I just want to hope that we're, mindful of the risks of having this extraordinary deficit spending that Republicans and Democrats have both been doing, for the last few administrations.
Mm-hmm. And did you sort of get involved in the election at all in terms of donations or campaigning, or were you sort of sitting this one out?
No, not really. I mean, look, I know President Trump. I mean, I lived very, very close by, and I've known him a long time. I've really never met Kamala Harris or President Biden. I've never met them. I've never spoken to them. I don't really know them. I wasn't really involved in this election. So, but, look, I've been like every American now, Donald Trump's the president. Let's just hope everyone comes together and works together, and he works together with everyone, and we get to head into the greatest time ever for our country, because the Americans have been pretty down lately, and we shouldn't be. This is the greatest country in the world. Everyone in the world wants to come here, legally, illegal, anywhere they can get here, and I think it's we're just a fantastic place, and Americans should wake up. There's so many great things in our country too. When you look at the benefits of AI and life expectancy from biotech and all the amazing things that we have in our lives, we shouldn't be so disappointed as a country. We should wake up in the morning. Everyone should think like, I love being in America. I love our country. I love my life here. So hopefully we'll get to that point at the end of his 4 years. Hopefully everyone will be really happy. That's the goal.
You're sort of like a hopeful sort of outlook, it seems, on the next few years, I guess.
Well, look, I'm an optimist. You can't be an entrepreneur without being an optimist. Look, I played tennis this morning. I was up 5-1 in the tiebreak, and I lost 8-6. Stuff changes in life and tennis every day. You got to, I'm ready for the next battle, and that's what I think as Americans we have to do. We have to always be ready. And look, I'm just hoping that that we can get some of these world problems behind us that have kind of dragged us down. These immigration issues that are dividing us.
Thanks so much, Jeff. We really appreciate it. We'll be in touch. And yeah, thanks again for your time today.
Always my pleasure. All the best.